me where you from. Baby, I come from the low. With some trappers you ain't know. One up top up in that glizzy, dog and coca on the road. I'm just watching for the troopers trying to make it to the O. Hit the trap, bust it down. Junkie say he wants some more. Play the block like I'm Shaq, but I shoot like I'm cold.
Take one. Holiday and Co. Well, hello everybody. This is Rell off the Hill, and I have two special guests with me who I consider friends and family. Mr. Munson and Liz Holiday.
Hello.
I'm still calling you Mr. Munson. I gotta call you.
That's all right. No, you can call me whatever you want, man. Thank you. We appreciate you letting us be here.
David Munson and Liz Holiday. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
So, I'm David Munson, and my lovely fiance here, Liz. We own a real estate company called Holiday and Co. We're based out of Keller Williams here in Boise, Idaho. Prior to that, I worked in nightlife, and that's how I know Rell.
Yes,
So
that's true.
I worked for the Challenger Group and did. I was the vice president, part owner, Amsterdam Lounge, Strange Lip Nightclub, Dirty Little Roddy's, and then at the end, Carmen Nightclub. Yeah. And Liz, you want to say something about yourself?
I mean, you said it all.
Liz, she's very shy. She started this real estate company, how many years ago?
August of 2017.
Yeah. So she started this and built up a brand that's been helping people throughout the Treasure Valley now for years, and we got a bunch of glowing reviews, and we're doing really good.
Over almost it's half a decade in 2017.
Yeah. But next month will be 6 years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
So that is good. You're still in real estate, which means you're flourishing.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna start out with saying how I met Munson. I was running around with this lady named Angela. She was doing like some marketing.
She was crazy.
Crazy.
She was batshit crazy.
She was doing some marketing and stuff like that, and one day she's like, "Hey, this guy's hiring downtown." And then I remember I went on my 22nd birthday run. I walked into Amsterdam. Dion was working for the Challenger Group at the time, and got my birthday shot. I walked out. I was like, I'm never fucking working here. And then 2 weeks later, she says, hey, they're hiring. So I go in the same day. You give me an interview, and we had a good convo. You're like, all right, come back at 6.
I couldn't believe this lady brought me somebody of quality, though. Like, so she was like a bag lady. This lady would just show up and tell all kinds of stories and then demand free drinks from people. And she's like, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this guy. He's great. And I'm like, shit, and I was kind of desperate to find somebody with some personality to come and work in this club. I needed a door guy, but I wasn't hiring somebody for security per se. I was hiring somebody who had a big personality who can get women in the door and drag people in and tell them about this new business we're building and all this. And in comes you. And he's got that New York accent, and you told me you're going to work hard and you earn everything. You work hard to earn everything. You don't just expect everything. And I was like, okay, let's see you. And I put you on the door. Yeah. Yeah,
I remember. And then the next day, I ended up closing the bar by myself. I've never checked an ID before. So, but it was a...
I'm building a house. You're checking an ID.
So it was it was dope though, because I've never worked at a club, and it was a good experience.
Well, you thrive in the people industry. The one thing is like, we would sit there and groups of people would go by and Drew start talking to them. And then he would leave the door and start following them. And then they'd get about halfway up the block, and then you'd see them all turn around. And the next thing you know, 10, 15 people are coming to my establishment and spending money. And he'd sit there with a big smile. So you moved up really fast. It was a good industry for you to move up quickly. Obviously as a young person, just trying to get some money fast. Mm-hmm. And then you became the first male server we ever promoted into it, and you thrived in that atmosphere as well.
I couldn't be a bartender.
Just make it too much money.
I was telling myself when you bartend, it's like you got to worry about people at the bar and then the service drinks depending on which station you're at. And I'm like, well, that kind of the bartender's kind of you make great money as a bartender, but you kind of slow yourself down. But me as a server, what I tell people is I'm in control kind of the money I make depending on who comes in the bar. Mm-hmm. So as long as I have good conversations with people and, you know, I show, you know, charisma and I'm getting to know them. And so that way when they come back in, they can ask for me and stuff like that.
What you said there is something that most people don't understand when it comes to that world is, you know, bartenders are like, it's great, I stand here and money happens at me. And you were like, I can control everything when he walks in the door. If I see somebody I feel like is a good sale, I could approach them. I can get them into my table. I can make money off of them. And that's something where great servers who understand that system, who are aggressive, who attack, thrive. And where others are like, I don't know who's going to sit my section. You know, I'm not saying it is what it is, and every place has got a different, you know, a different way how they dictate where people sit. But you were really good at that and getting people to purchase bottles. So thank you.
And this was like before like the bottles got kicking in. You always said, well, if you don't sell bottles, well, if people were to come sit in a section and start a big tab, it's kind of very, very similar. So, and you gave me the permission to, well, if this guy's going to be drinking a fucking Bud Light for 25 minutes and I got a big group that I know that wants to come in and spend some money, you know, I just got to tell them like, hey, this spot is reserved.
Yep.
You know, so you can finish your drink and everything like that. And I'll let you know when they're here. You know, you give me that permission to do that. So I kind of figured out that I can control my section.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much all my sections. If I had a table, he was like, well, hey, if you got someone here who's spending $5 or $10, but you got a party willing to come in and spend $200, $300, $400, $500, mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of what you want. Mm-hmm. You know, no offense to the person with the beer, obviously. No. You always want to,
you know, it's a delicate matter, you know, and you know, we always did it. I feel like we did it appropriately, and mm-hmm. you know,
it was very nice.
Well, I'll
buy you a drink if you need me to.
The truth isn't anything, you know, like with these kind of industries, is you, as in any industry, you have the power as the business owner to control how people feel. You know, if you have to inconvenience somebody, you can always read it. You know, first off, of course, apologize, be you know, honest about the whole thing. But if somebody's upset, oh no, you get a free Bud Light, you know, and they're like, oh, thank you, you know. And that was the one thing about that industry I love, though. It's easy, you know. People just want to have a good time and enjoy themselves. And if you show them a little attention and you know, if they get a little upset, you know, listen to them. And it was an easy remedy. And 90% of the remedy is booze. Yeah. So yeah, that's the fun thing about that one.
Yeah. And Liz, you was a damn good bartender yourself. So
why, thank you. I was just gonna say it all comes down to anticipating their needs to make their experience better.
Yeah. You made hand over fist. Money working there.
I did very well
for
a college student.
Well, the bars are fun, man. For most college students too. You go in, you work 3-4 hours, you walk away with hundreds of dollars, and don't have to pay very much taxes. Like it
was the best college job I could have asked for because I could focus on all of my classes during the week, and then I'd go to the bar Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and it was really easy to ace all my classes, but then still make a lot of money to support myself.
Yeah, because I remember when I was looking for a job, and you know, when I got hired on, and I remember being security, and then I went to bar back, and I'm like, damn, I gotta come here at 12 and set up the bar for like 2-3 hours.
Bar back's a hard job. That's the backbone of a bar.
Oh, 100%. And I'm like, thank God for Trent, by the way. Shout out to Trent, Jared, and Nick. Shout out to those three, because without those three...
I heard Trent's moving to another state, too. I don't know where he's going. I can't remember.
I think he just had a baby, too.
Yeah, he had a baby, got married, had a baby, and moved away. He was a good dude, a hard worker.
And I remember I went to bar back, and everyone was like, are you bartending? You're behind the bar now. You're not outside no more. You know?
It drove you crazy, too, because in that job, you got to put your head down. You can't talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'd try to flag you down. Hey, can you get me a drink? And you're kind of...
And then limited. I remember pitching the idea to you. I think you got mad at, I don't want to say her name, but it was like Shiloh. And then
I got mad at Shiloh all the time.
yeah, I think-
Shiloh, if you ever watch this, you know.
So I think he got mad at Shiloh, and I was like, "Why don't you just let me serve?" Why don't? And then he was like, "You turned around." He was so mad, and you turned around. I was like, Let me ask Ted. Let me see what Ted thinks. And then, sure enough, you know, I think like a week or two later, I started.
I think like Ted's like, why not? Let's go.
Yeah. And then from that, it went to the hip hop night down at Roddy's, which was good. Put me in a position to help promote it along with Clay and Dion to bring it. Because I think, were you working the Thursday nights at Roddy's before it was hip hop, right?
Yeah,
It was
I
just
was there
country.
before when it was country, and then I think beginning hip hop night they had some China Blue Girls, and then I think I got rotated in a little bit after it started.
Yeah, I remember because I think you guys wanted to increase sales, so $3 drinks and I think it was $2 beers.
We blew that corner up.
Yeah,
That was fun.
100%.
Yeah, I was telling Ted for years, like, we should do a hip hop night at Roddy's. And he's like, it's just two different cultures. You can't do that. And finally he listened and we got it together. And when it worked, you know, everybody did their promotions. You went out and kicked ass. Clay did his job. And it just lit a fire. And I guess it's still going.
Yeah, I was going to school, so it was really easy. So I would go play basketball at noon, and then all my friends would be like, "Yo, we're going to Suds and stuff." And we had the bus that day, so
Oh yeah.
you know, we'll all go to Suds and then
That bus was
Yeah.
dangerous.
yeah, we'll all go to Suds and we'll hit R Bar and everything. And I would just kind of tell my friends like, "Yo, let's go to this spot I'm promoting with. Come show some love and everything." And they did. And I think one of the best things was they gave me purple Vikings to just kind of just to hand out.
Yeah.
So there would be times where I'm just handing out like 50 to 100 shots
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Got the
But-
town drunk.
But none would be possible without you vouching for me and everything like that.
Of course.
So I want to say thank you.
You earned it, brother. You know,
Thank you.
that was it. You know, like
It was fun. It had
Yeah.
its challenges. I remember doing, you know, a little bit of China Blue stuff. Some Thursdays we did better than China Blue Fridays, which was crazy.
Isn't it crazy? That bar is a powerhouse. That was, you know, Ted always had the three, and he had the Bistro before it was Amsterdam, and then China Blue nightclub, and Dirty Little Roddy's, and no matter what was happening, usually between the Bistro or China or Karma and Amsterdam or whatever, one of those two might have bad weekends or whatever. Roddy's was a staple. It just bulldozed on. Now I know they're all doing very well, which is, you know, when I worked there, I was there for a decade. So, you know, in my experience, it was really hard for all of them to be firing at the same time. It's very rare. But now I guess Ted found the secret and kind of figured it out. I think it was when I quit.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Nothing
no,
wrong
with
with
that. But no, man, it was a good times, and it just like I mentioned to you earlier, like I always looked at all those young people working there because over the years you would get all these folks who'd go on and, you know, they'd stop working at the bar, graduate college, go get jobs or start businesses or do whatever, and then years later they would always be like, dude, I remember this. Do you remember this? This is some of the best times of my life. My job is so boring, but I make so much money. You know, or, you know, a lot of, you know, it's primarily a lot of females worked for me too. So they had kids, they had families, they get locked down with a lot of kids and they're bored to death. And they run into me 5-6 years later and they're like, that was so much fun. I had no responsibilities. I'd go to school, I'd go to work, I'd make hundreds of dollars and we'd party, you know. And I always told all those employees at meetings, I'm like, embrace this, remember this. This is one part of your life that's a lot of fun and not everything in life is fun. And it's like, try to embrace this, try to remember it. And I was like, it's not always easy. Your feet hurt at the end of the night. You got to deal with some shitty customers here and there. Sometimes you don't make a lot of money, but you know, it's going to be with you forever, Jarrell.
No, yeah, 100%. I felt like when I was working at Amsterdam and going to school, can't speak about how the culture is now, but when you was there, you was always hard and you was always on people to do their job. So the one thing I did hate was the cleaning parties.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I mean, it was good booze, but if you got too drunk, you might not be working the next week. But it felt like a family.
Yeah.
You know, working there. From the people that was there, from when I started, from when I left, that's kind of how it felt. It felt
Yeah.
like a,
It's a good energy. It was a really good energy, and you were part of a really good crew. And you know, I think my blessings every single day that I've had so many good crews, and that was one of the best ones. Yeah.
It was definitely a highlight of, you know, my 22 to 25 when I was working there, or 24. So
Yeah.
it was extremely fun. So
Cool.
appreciate you hiring me the same day.
Of course.
Telling me to work.
I'd be crazy if I didn't.
You know, so but what would you say is one of your favorite parties that you've holiday or
We've done a lot of crazy things. So the one, because you were there for our Halloween where we did the Alice in Wonderland theme, right?
yeah, I had
That
glitter
was-
on my body.
That was a really creative group of people. You guys were so creative, and we made Amsterdam look just really psychedelic and cool, because we really wanted to base this after, you know, the more modern Alice in Wonderland story with Johnny Depp. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. And so you guys went all out. I mean, huge costumes, big hair, glitter, all kinds of stuff. That was a blast. I mean, I've thrown so many, especially China Blue. Like China Blue, we've thrown some massive, huge parties. But that one strikes me as one of the most creative and clever ones we did that made a good amount of money. And then there was the New Year's one with the golden ticket.
Yeah.
You were part of that too. The golden ticket
good.
was
It was
like $100 a ticket, get in the entryway. We had food, we had all kinds of champagne. We had a live model being body painted in public.
Yeah. The first one was I remember the first one pretty clear. It was
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. Anybody who was anybody in town showed up to that one. It was Boise's A-list, and it was beautiful and fun and raucous, and yeah.
I remember that. It was barbacks was like, we need more cups.
Yeah.
We need more silverware. We need everything.
Yeah, it was.
So I remember that first one was definitely good. Is that when the glass fell?
No, that was the second one. I think that glass fell.
glass
I don't
fell.
think the first one. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it was the second one we did. The glass fell. I was furious. The first one, it worked out perfectly. This is a picture of you and me pouring champagne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It worked out perfectly the first one.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were some good times, man. I remember Tani one day, she got mad at me. I saw a group of girls outside.
And Tony used to be the general manager.
Yes, Tani was the general manager. Lovely lady, great person. She got mad at me one day. I saw a group of ladies outside, and I was already acting on it because you told me since I was working security, you see a group of females out there, you bring them in, you get them champagne.
Yeah.
I already knew this, so I seen them, and then I'm heading out to go get the bottles of champagne ready, and then running out to the girls to go grab them, and then she's like, "Hey, I need you to." I'm like, I'm already on it. I already know what you're gonna tell me. I see him too, and then she's like, "Don't tell me how to do my job," and I'm like, "How you get mad at me? I'm just saying, like, you know, I know what I'm doing because I was told to do this, you know, for like a year, so." It's, you know, it's I get it. But she kind of got mad. I had to tell her, I'm like, hey, like, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So,
We had the same goal in mind.
Yeah. So, but those were some definitely, oh man, some great times there. But Liz, you know, you went to school, you know, as you were working downtown, and what did you graduate? What did you get your degree in?
So I did a bachelor's in communication and then a certificate in public relations and human relations, and yeah.
Originally, what did you want to do with that?
So originally I wanted to go to FITM in Los Angeles. It was a fashion institute, and then I realized how expensive it was, and so I went to Boise State instead.
Yeah.
And I studied communication, and I actually fell in love with it. After you got through the first 2 years of all of the biology and chemistry 101 requirements, I really fell in love with my communication classes and emotional intelligence and
Yeah, it's
that
like,
whole
why do you
sector.
need chemistry and biology for communications?
Yeah, all those prereqs, man.
Yeah,
Kill
that's
me.
what stumps a lot of people. And it's like, if you're going to do a prereq within that field. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't really need chemistry in the communication field unless you're going to go into something where you need to know chemistry but it makes no sense.
It's all a fun-filled challenge for that piece of paper.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's like a prereq, and it's not a prereq. You guys just want to charge more money. Because I know so many people, they had like biochem as they had to do biochem as a prereq to a major that had nothing to do with chemistry at all.
Yeah.
Or anything near it.
And you were looking at more at working for a marketing company is kind of what you were aiming at the end. And then,
I was in a public relations organization, and so we did a lot of like PR work for press releases and companies and brand management. So did that for about a year, social media manager, managing 6 accounts, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. And after 2 weeks of being in a little 10 by 10 room downtown by myself, looking at a screen for 10 hours a day, I realized that's not what I wanted to do, because I was flagging down like the mail guy, being like, hey, how's your day going? Oh, I was just trying to have a conversation with him, and I realized that I needed to be in a job with people, not in a room by myself.
yeah, and she got lucky. She started working as an assistant, right? As an assistant for a real estate company here.
Yeah. So
And it just like a part-time little side gig. She had like 3 jobs or something. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm going to get another job because I want to do this. I'm like,
Well, I had time during the week. I was going to school, bartending on the weekends. I was nannying. And one of my sorority sisters had mentioned she had a family member that needed some extra help in the office during the week. And I figured I needed to fill my time. And it ended up being a real estate company, a very successful, high-producing real estate company. And I worked on the admin side for almost 2 years. I wore a lot of hats there. Marketing, client appreciation events, anything that the agents needed, prepping them for their appointments. And
so she's getting ready to graduate with this degree. And I used to work real estate. I started real estate when like 2006, right? And then I gave up 2008, 2009 during the crash.
Yeah.
And I just saw it in her, and I was like, she's like, I really had a good time with this. And I'm like, you're going to graduate from college and go into real estate, the thing you don't need the graduate college to get into. And she's like, yeah, I kind of like it. I'm like, you're probably perfect for this. You're delightful, you're intelligent, you're thorough, you're very popular. She instantaneously makes friends when she walks into a room. So I'm like, all right, you got all those aspects. You're capable of all this stuff.
And you bartended at the place where people go to buy drinks where they can afford a home.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some people, let's be honest.
Some people can.
Yeah, there are a lot of college kids spending their loans on.
Yeah, but now you would hope that those people have progressed and now they're buying their first homes and stuff. So
Yeah.
you definitely, for sure, you've been in real estate now for, you said, almost 6 years.
yeah, it'll be 6 years next month.
You're one of the top producing agents in the state, and you was an assistant. Was it the Terra?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, no.
No, I was.
No.
It was a Christina and Company.
Okay.
Yeah, back in 2017.
And then when she got her license, she ended up jumping to City of Trees and working with Tara. And Tara,
She was my team lead.
she was her team lead and kind of guided her and got her in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you tried to point me in that direction too,
Mm-hmm.
and then things just didn't work out. And I've always said if I wasn't in the industry I'm in now, I definitely would have turned around and went towards real estate.
Real estate's fun. I feel like you could do decent in it. That the one thing is if you're competent and you have an ability to be a self-starter and never stop. I feel like we both pop out of bed, and then I pop out of bed first, but she pops in the bed last. So like we hit the ground running, and there's nobody to ever tell us, and we have to force ourselves to take breaks. And it's that initiative and that thing that just goes with you. And I think another thing too is just and you have this too, is the innate understanding of one, your client is everything to you in every moment that you interact with them. You have to anticipate their needs. You have to empathize with them, and you also got to explain things how they want to be explained. Everybody's got their different disc profile and understanding. I think both of us excel in this industry because of that ability. We also know everybody in town. I mean, that's when you're looking for somebody, your Rolodex is so massive. If you need a plumber, you need somebody who an accountant, you need lawyers from all kinds of different stuff. So all these things that people need, and if you have those at your fingertips, you're like, oh yeah, this guy. People trust you, they refer you, and they'll continue to use you. And so I feel like you have a lot of that aspect. You'd be able to do it, but you've got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah,
So.
I did just recently buy like a real estate book for dummies.
Yeah.
So that way I could kind of just learn, and one day I'm hoping to refinance my house or something, a HELOC loan or something, and to buy another one, get a rental and stuff like that. So
yeah, rentals are great, man. I especially in the Boise, Idaho area. If you this area is not going to stop growing until the quality of life begins to
diminish.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like to hear that. I grew up here, so I remember probably some of my earliest childhood things, like all these Californians are moving here, and then in elementary school, all these terrible Californians, junior high, high school. It never stops. And people are always like, it's changed. Well, yeah, things change. Time changes. Everywhere you live is going to change. But it's not going to stop growing until you get those quality of life issues like we're seeing in Denver now, right? Denver grew exponentially because it used to be the Shangri-La places you can go to outside of the crazy cities. And now they have like the 5th largest homeless issue, 5th or 9th, or I can't remember what number it is, but I saw a report on it today. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, right now in Boise, Idaho, you can walk into a gas station anywhere in town and not get harassed by anybody on the front, trying to get you buying booze or giving money. And
let's hope it stays that way.
It won't. It's almost impossible. The world as you see it, as populations grow, it comes our homeless issue.
Yeah.
And some could say red state, blue state, and all that stuff. But I've been all over, and frankly, it just seems like bigger issue is a population issue. And since we still have a pretty low population, we have a crazy winters.
We're big though, like a metropolitan city. We're bigger than a few other big cities, but also we're still relatively small.
Yeah.
That's and culture is still growing, and I'm shocked that 10 Mile is just barely being developed over these last 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I would have assumed that would have been pretty developed like at least 5-10 years ago. Because I'm sure when I first got here, even downtown, the 3 hotels that's right there now, the N500 and the one right next to it.
So I've been looking at a lot of commercial space in that area, and it's all projected. Like there's big chunks already projected and going in. So there's people looking to invest in pads in that section. So as far as that, I'm surprised it hasn't already either. But it's coming, and it's coming quick.
Yeah. 10 Mile's growing now. They're about to put a Cafe Rio here. They got a whole bunch of new stores. When I first moved here, it was kind of like, Now they're pulling up a bunch of residential homes on the right side. On the left side, got a lot of businesses. You got freaking you had 3 ICCUs within 2 miles. And I'm like,
that business is booming.
Yeah, I'm like,
ICCU is booming.
Like,
They're the number one mortgage lender right now, correct? Yeah. So they're the number 1 mortgage lender, I think, in the state. And but next to what's starting to come up is brokers. So mortgage brokers are starting to come up.
yeah. Shout out to Marcel too. I know he's a mortgage
C2,
broker.
yeah, Marcel,
Yes.
right?
Marcel
C2,
and Kara.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I know she's coming over that section too. So they're brokers, so they can shop different loan programs to get the interest rates a lot lower than what some of these other folks are able to do. ICCU is interesting too because they do a 40-year loan instead of a 30-year loan.
Yeah.
To some people, that sounds like a death sentence. To other people, they understand the loan, and they're like, all right, well, hopefully equity gain. It's not going to lock me into something for that long. But of course, as in everything, it's a gamble. but also Fulcrum Home Loans is doing a lot, and you're seeing a lot of these retail lenders trying to pull back and fire employees or close up shop, and it's just because of the nature of what's happening with interest rates in our culture right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to shuffle a little bit of the conversation.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting nerdy.
No, no, we're good. I want the people to know about you guys. So with my podcast, and so everyone can hear, I want to have people who on that are my friends and my family, and let people know who the Treasure Valley treasures. So you guys are a treasure to me.
Oh,
living in the Treasure
Jarelli
Valley.
Wood, you're one of my treasures.
So, but yeah, so let us know about you two. You know, I know I've known you for a while, and you found your soulmate.
Yeah.
This is.
Oh my God, I was 32 when I met her. I was a wild idiot until I met her. She saved my life, and you know, I was going down a dark path. I was drinking every day. I was having all kinds of crazy stuff happening, and my body started to have issues. You know, I got pancreatitis and had to quit drinking, and I was alone, and I didn't know how alone I was. I had no idea. I thought it was great, but I knew there was something inside me that knew. It was like, you're in a really deep, dark place, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then this little shining bright light pops in, and we fell in love, and everything's just been different and positive. I've been sober next Monday, I think. Come Monday, I'll be 7 years sober. But that I can attest that that's changed my life for the better in 1,000 million ways. But this one's changed everything, and she's the reason I was able to get sober. If I didn't have her around, I probably would have killed myself. I'm not even kidding. Like I was in a dark place, and she's delightful. And if anybody's watching this, she's naturally delightful. She's like at home, or when she's mad, she's delightful. It's weird. She's always happy, and she's always looking after me and always taking care of me. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. We work together, we live together, and we've got massive goals that we just work toward together. And that's something I've never had in any relationship I've ever.
It's teamwork, you know, and I've been doing my fair share of getting to know people, and I kind of tell them that the two most important things that I value now is appreciation and support.
Mm-hmm.
And without those two, I think that's the foundation of a relationship. You know, obviously you'll have your loyalty and that stuff, but appreciation and support is like the foundation, because you never want to get into something with someone who doesn't appreciate the things you do. Whether you're mad at them, you're doing things without having to be asked, you're paying attention to things, and you're supporting them and their goals.
And I think those are the two things that need to be easy. You know, there's things that are hard in some relationships. I mean, I've known people who love their relationship, but they fight like fucking cats and dogs. You know, like it is. But those two things were easy to them. They support, and they embrace each other's ideas and views, and they might not always get along or understand other aspects, but those are the two things, and that was always easy for her. And it's different when you finally clink. And like I said, I was 32, and at that time I thought that was old, but it took a long time. You know, a lot of dates, a lot of girlfriends, a lot of single. To kind of rummage through all the world until she appeared, you know, and
she made you a better man.
Yeah, and you know, and it's you know, I feel like everybody has that one person, sometimes two. I do feel like sometimes people grow apart and they're meant to go somewhere else. You know, I've seen it in a lot of older folks, or you know, some people who've like died and then their spouses end up finding somebody who's great too, but I think the world has a way of carving that person out for you, and when you know it, it's just it's unusually easy to support them and embrace them and love them and truly show that. So, yeah.
It's just this new generation, you know. I wouldn't even say this new generation. I would say social media. You got so many people on social media putting out all the bad, and it's like, well, you've been hurt so many times, and
Yeah.
men and women, you bring in old relationship issues into a new one, and it's like you can't do that because if I'm trying to showcase that I'm nothing like your previous, you can't react to certain things that I do because it may trigger something. But if I'm doing it out of love and I'm doing it out of love and out of my own heart, then you got to understand what you're used to getting and what I'm trying to show you is two different things.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't really understand that. You got people on social media it's just screwing the entire dating process up. Where now you got women like, oh, you got to pay bills and do this, and it's like,
Well, I feel like a lot of it's attention too, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the click,
Yeah.
you know. So, where if all of a sudden you post and everything's grand and no one likes it, and then one day you're like, I hate it when fucking women do this, and then next thing you know, all your buddies are liking it and all this stuff, and they start growing with that detriment, and then it's just it's a cultural phenomenon, kind of how it spreads. But you're right, you know.
it's screwing relationships up because people's going online looking at other people's relationships, and a lot of people post up relationships just to look good, but in reality, it might not be good.
Yeah, we both know that.
Yeah. But it's like people are going on, they're going online, posting up these, relationship quotes, stuff like that, and they're doing the complete opposite. And it's like, obviously, before you should love someone else, you should love yourself first. But, however, like you said, kind of in your aspect, she kind of brought you back to the circle.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
That's someone to kind of bring you back. But
well, I think men too. Like, I didn't think it. I thought I was very emotionally intelligent. I'm very empathetic, and I can read people very quickly. I have that ability. I don't have many enemies. I have millions of friends. And I thought I was very emotionally intelligent, but looking at my past relationships, there's a lot of things that, in my head, I'm like, I feel bad. I feel sorry because of how things were, but they weren't right. But I think a lot of the times, too, is like, as you grow up a little older, you start to really prioritize things, and also you start to understand your actions a little bit more, and it's easier to embrace when the right one comes into your heart, like right away. So, you're a young man still,
29,
yeah,
almost 30,
and but it didn't. I was a fucking idiot until I was probably like 33, 34. I'm like, it just starts this, and I might still be. You never know. But it starts to change your priorities, your thought process, and I don't know. The right woman will come through regardless of what is happening in the exterior. What you're attracting, what you're going through right now will eventually attract that right person.
And sometimes you can't go looking for it. You gotta let it happen. And Idaho's not one of those places where it's like California, where there's an influx of people coming in and out the state each and every day, each and every minute.
Yeah.
In Idaho, it's kind of like
I feel like even in California or New York, all these places, there's still a lot of lonely people. No matter what,
I'm just saying you can meet so many different people and never see them again.
Yeah.
As opposed to Idaho, it's like, well, I know you used to date him. I know this dude, you used to date her. So it's like,
yeah,
it's just, it's small to the point where it's like, there's a lot of known history, and it's up to people whether or not they want to, settle or something like that. And for me, I'm 29 and working on finally turning my house into a home. The feeling.
You
everything.
need to, Darrell.
I know. Trust me, I'm in that process now, and it's a good process just to be able to come home. And I had friends live with me and everything, and I wouldn't change it, but it's just the energy and the aesthetic of my house, and now it's good. Now I'm understanding like what it's like to be a homeowner. Now when I see like fucking nice chairs and and nice landscaping. You know, that's like
Yeah.
that's sexy.
Yeah. Well,
You
it makes you comfortable when you come home, man.
Yeah,
It makes you know.
100%.
We remodel homes, so we'll move into one and remodel it, and then rent it out, and then buy another one. And the process, it's so funny because the process sucks because you're looking at things you want to get changed, and then you do it, and you're like, that's good, but then this and then by the time everything's nice and done, it's so comfy, it's so nice. And then I go and I buy another one, and we move out of it, and we're like, we wish we could enjoy our nice put together home a little bit longer.
After living through our first remodel,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd ever want to do it again.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
The second one was better. We did pretty much everything before.
Yeah,
and
for
then
the most part.
it was just last minute touch-ups after we moved in, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But getting out of the shower and stepping on nails and screws and wood chips is not ideal.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, me coming home now and me being in the process of like, I don't have a woman obviously, so having to figure out how to tie colors, how to do my own interior design, and it's hard because I'm just used to buying a whole bunch of shit and just trying to piece it together, and I'm like, fuck, like I need a woman for this shit. I need some help.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my best impression of
You know,
asking female friends for help.
though, I mean, you could do that, but you could just go with
Hire an interior designer.
hire an interior designer. I know it sounds like a pain, but to be honest, like they could
That's
drop
their
the whole
realm,
thing.
and-
That's their realm, and they can get it to you and make it look like this is what you do for a living.
Yeah.
So maybe when you do bring home that woman, she's like, "Oh my God, Rell."
This is amazing.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
One day. So, but
Cool.
yeah. So I want to know who's the better cook.
I am
Definitely him,
Definitely him.
100%.
without hesitation.
Yeah. No.
I assist.
Yeah. She's a good cook.
She's
Don't
a
get me wrong.
sous chef.
No, she's good, but it's just like for something clicked in my head some time in college where I was like, I'm gonna try this flavor. I'm gonna try this, and I love it. I love cooking. So
There's something in his brain that knows I can pair these 12 spices together and it's going to come out amazing. And I don't have that.
yeah. How about you? You a good cook?
No, but I can learn. I plan on learning. My aunt, I have some chefs in the family, so and they're like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, this Thanksgiving they'll be here. I think. So I plan on having like a big Thanksgiving here, and my aunt cooks everything. I went home for not Memorial Day, but Labor Day.
Mhm.
I went to Virginia actually, and they cooked everything.
Mhm.
Fish. I think we had some steak, some ribs, some chicken. So, and
You gotta go in the kitchen with her. Have her teach you.
I know. So and when I do get a lady, I want to be able to cook as well.
Yeah.
Cook a whole bunch of different dishes, because whenever I ask someone like do you know how to cook fried chicken, they're like no, and I'm like
They can always learn how to cook fried chicken.
yeah. I mean yes, but it takes actually learning, and I like Jamaican food a lot as well. So
Yeah, I like
oxtail
Jamaican
and
food,
jerk
man.
chicken and stuff like that.
I haven't had good Jamaican food in a while.
Yeah.
I can make it. I've done it. I did it like 2 times, and it actually turned out quite well. YouTube, man.
No, 110%.
Yeah.
YouTube University is the greatest educator on this earth right now. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can learn how to do option trading. You can learn how to become a realtor. You can learn how to
Anything.
make T-shirts. You can learn
Anything.
how to do international trade.
I broke my leg one time, and I was on Catalina Island, and the Catalina fucking wine mixer. So we were in a golf cart, and my sister's new boyfriend was drunk and driving as fast as he could down a hill, and I didn't know how drunk he was. He was really drunk, and I was like, "Stop going so fast! You're gonna kill us!" And he goes, "What?" And he turns the cart going downhill, and it flips over. And I'm a dumbass. I put my foot out to stop it for some reason. I didn't, just gut reaction, and it snapped my ankle. And then the cart rolled over my leg and broke it, and it rolled over And so I'm sitting there in the hospital, and I wouldn't let the nurse take away my bottle of vodka. So I'm like chugging this vodka to make the pain go away. They're giving me stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we have to set your leg." And I'm like, "Cool, all right, sure." And they're like, "We're gonna knock you out." I'm like, "Okay." And they knocked me out, and I wake up, and there's a cast in front of me. My leg's all straight. I'm like, "They did it!" And my sister's like pale white, and I'm like, "What's wrong, Dee Dee?" And she goes, "I went in the back for a minute, and the doctor was YouTubing how to set a broken leg." I was like, "Oh shit!" And so doctor came out. I'm like, "You ever set broken legs before?" He goes, "Yeah, several times." And I was like, "Were you watching it on YouTube?" She goes, "Every doctor watches YouTube before some things they haven't done in a while." She goes, "It's just makes it just so you don't forget." I'm like, that's fair. That's honest. It worked out good. It's straight, but
I don't know. Not no doctor. It's like going into brain surgery. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go on YouTube real quick because I need to figure out if it's your frontal lobe or whatever.
yeah, you know, it teaches everything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, I just want to say I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
You know, you're definitely going to be one of the people at my wedding, just so you're aware. When I do get married.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
And just wanted to let you know that a lot of things that without you, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know. I don't know where I would be.
Where would he be?
You help put me in a position to win, and you never really asked, you know, for anything in return except just, you know, just be yourself and always give maximum effort and just stay true to, you know, your mission and your goals and everything like that. And I appreciate it, you know, although you would get mad at me at times and at work and stuff like that, but I guess it was for a good cause.
Yeah.
And you've always looked out for me, still to this day, you know, always checking up on me, and I appreciate that. And just want to say, you know, you're like a brother, so I love you.
Love you too, man.
Munson.
Well, you're doing big things, man. Let's hope this thing blows up and
Yes,
all your other endeavors and your.
Then I can repay the fare. I can pay for vacations and
Let's go.
nice family vacation and go somewhere. So, but Liz, is there anything you want to touch on? You've been kind of just.
I know. I mean, you guys both have been on such a good roll.
Yeah.
We have a
that
lot of
I
history.
I didn't want to.
No, you're part of the history though.
Aw.
You know, I remember when, you know, you was doing the real estate and you was still working at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And you was still working at the bar kind of on the weekends. And I remember Ted being like, "You better not date her."
I think we were already.
I was a bad boss. All right.
I remember at Roddy's, so I would get there. I'd open at 8:30, and you know I'd be showing homes all day, and I'd get there. It'd be probably 10, 11, because we had some clients that were just night owls, and I would sneak into the back by their beer coolers, and I would be negotiating RE10 items and home inspection reports and talking them through it. And I didn't realize that the cameras back there had microphones, so Ted probably heard. You probably heard all those conversations.
Those fucking things didn't have microphones. He lied.
Did they really?
He lied to you guys.
Oh, this
he
is
didn't-
good. Okay.
He didn't have microphones. He always tells people shit.
So I was so worried because I would always sneak back when it was a little bit slow to, you know, if it was busy.
He kept those cameras on back there so the bouncers would quit stealing beer and drinking them in the walk-in cooler. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I would say when I did the hip hop night, yes, I did have some drunk nights where, you know, I was supposed to party that night, but during Amsterdam, you know, I've never ever gotten drunk. You know, I've had some nights where, you know, people would buy me drinks and stuff like that, and most of the time I would kind of say no, but you know, people buy me a couple shots, I'll buy a couple shots, but
That industry, we all fucked up.
But I know, I remember vividly bartenders getting drunk, losing shifts.
Yeah.
People like, sorry, Shiloh, I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but you get lit, you lose a shift.
She was fun.
You know, and then, or you would make, you know what, you got to open 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
4 days in a row. I remember I used to work Mondays with Tyler. And I'm like, bro, I've been here since 4. It's 8 o'clock. We had like 5 people in here. And I didn't do nothing wrong to get that shift. We just needed someone to do that shift.
Yeah. Everybody got rotated through this stuff.
You know, but I've never really gotten drunk. I'm like, you know what? I can't afford to lose a shift or anything like that. But
that industry, I have had to let go of so many employees for, you know, partying too hard or whatever. It's just one of those industries where it happens. It's almost embarrassing because,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you run into people, and I still remember a lot of the good times, and then they're like, "You fired me." I'm like, I bet it was for a good reason. I can't really recall. It was 9 years ago, and
Yeah.
I was drunk probably too because I was a bad manager in the beginning. So I was good in the end because I remember everything. I was sober, but when I was drinking, I made some mistakes here or there.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it was one of those industries. This one
Don't look at me.
got drunk on shift a lot.
A lot. Especially, yes, I remember. Because I remember I think she got drunk when when you guys were dating. You was at Roddy's. Ted's like, Munson, go get your girl.
Yeah, she passed out behind the bar, drunk
I think twice.
twice.
After shift,
Yeah.
we were counting the money.
Ted's
and
like, go get fucking Liz. You're not gonna take out.
I'm all, he's gonna fire you, and he didn't. She'd be there next Sunday, scrubbing the whole bar for
I
like
always
hours.
had the most severe anxiety, thinking, "Fuck, I did it this time. I'm gonna get fired."
Only to get hammered 3 weeks later. She couldn't turn down tequila shots, man. That was kind of the thing.
know, there
What's
was-
funny is she doesn't drink at all anymore. Like just like maybe a glass of wine here or there, but like it's crazy how she went from full tilt, like could drink like 9 shots of Patron in a sitting to nothing.
Yeah, it was between 9 to 10 shots on bodies.
I guess it's easy because my fuddy-duddy ass just doesn't, you know.
Yeah, that helps
It was really
too.
COVID that did it for me, though.
Yeah, after COVID, she just...
Because I would drink a bottle of wine, watching a movie at home. I'd wake up hungover, and I think, well, I didn't really do anything. I just laid on the couch, and I think it was really then that I kind of just stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, COVID did it for everyone. I mean, everyone partied during COVID. COVID hit Idaho kind of last because I remember going down 13th Street when everything was closed, and I'll tell you this.
Wasn't that eerie?
Huh?
Crazy. It was
Yeah.
like crazy eerie how dead everything was. For a while.
No, in the beginning it was open. I remember
Oh,
like,
yeah,
everything
in
was
the
supposed to be
beginning.
closed, and I'm like, damn, there's people at the bar. There's like 150 people at the park.
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving down. I'm like, people either don't really give a damn about COVID, or they're just like, to hell with it.
It was weird. It was a weird time to be alive.
A lot of
Yeah.
money to be made. I mean, TikTok.
Kinda, you know, and until they did shut us down.
Yeah.
You know, when the bars got shut down. But that was a transition for me. Is, you know, when you work, you're both two people work, and you only date. You know, you see each other for a couple of hours here or there and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But really, when I got like, hey David, we got to shut the bar down. We're cutting. You know, and next thing you know, I'm spending 24 hours with her.
Yeah.
And then
So much
it was
fun.
like weeks, and then we went on vacation together, all this stuff. And at the end, I'm like, I can hang out with you all the time. This is so cool. And that's when I knew I was like, I can marry her, because I was like, now I know for sure, like I don't get tired of her because it was every day, all the time. And I also put my head, I'm like, I gotta get out of this fucking bar. I gotta work with her. I gotta figure that out. You know, and I wanted in my heart to believe I still wanted to work in the nightclubs. I did, because I'd made it that high, and I knew Ted was relying on me to be his retirement plan, and I was going to take over and eventually buy him and all this stuff. That was the plan, and I wanted that plan because I worked so hard to get there, but I really didn't want it. I wasn't happy, and I lost it, and I had the itch from the real estate, because I never lost the itch. I always remembered how fun it is. It's cool because the culmination of being able to I love negotiating. She watches me. When I get on the phone, I'm pacing, I'm smiling. Like when I lock down a deal for my client, like it's like fireworks. It's an explosion. And I always remembered that itch. I had that in the back of my head, and I knew, I was like, all right. Her business started to blow up. So after COVID really taught me that, one, we get along super well, and I made the right decision, and I'm going to marry her. And two, I got to step back from my previous business and take a real outside perspective of what was important to me.
Yeah.
And a year later, I stopped working in nightclubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. Just so everyone knows, like I said before, without this man right here, I'm not sure where I would be. He gave me an opportunity, and I kind of ran with it and put me in a position to meet new people and network and, hopefully do something good. And I had countless of interviews with multiple, different jobs. And, I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Munson. And I'm going to title this episode How It All Started.
Yeah.
This is the title of this episode, How It All Started.
Cool.
This is Rell Off the Hill. And again, if you guys need a home to be bought or sold, you can reach out to Liz Holiday and David Munson on Instagram. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys like it.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for
No
having us,
problem.
Rell.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Rell.
you guys for coming.
Of course, we love you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Baby, I come from the low. Tell me where you from. Baby, I come from the low.